Hey everybody, this is Trish.
I'm Courtney.
And we're trying to stay committed to our Facebook Lives on Fridays. And so it's Friday, it's 11 o'clock, and we are here. And we want to jump right into this. So today what we are doing is demos using gilding, but also copper and gold leaf, and then talking about different color foils that we're going to have on the shopping cart later this afternoon. I just want to remind you, if you're tuning into this video, we are always saving these out on our YouTube channel, which is The Purple Painted Lady. But as I'm talking to you, it's based on what's happening right now. So if you tune in during midstream, you can always go back and watch this video in its entirety later once we're done with the Facebook Live, just so you're aware, so you're not missing out. Okay, so why don't we first talk about what we're going to do as a giveaway today?
Sure.
Do you even know?
No.
I kind of surprised Courtney. So we're going to do a Facebook giveaway before the Facebook Live video is over, and we are going to be giving away, can you be my there you go. So these are one option of gilding that we sell in the store. We are going to be talking about how to use it and how to apply it. And since I can give one of those away, we will do that. And all you need to do is leave us a comment. Tell us what city and state you're tuning in from. And before the Facebook Live video ends, we'll just scroll through and pick one of you guys. We'll also talk about the different colors of the gilding and that brand available, and you can pick whatever color you would like. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to change the camera over, and I just want to scroll through the table so you can understand what we're going to be showcasing today. So we do carry multiple brands of gilding. Annie Sloane came out with her gilding just about 2 years ago. She has 5 colors, and we will go into each one in a moment. We are going to be showcasing those, doing a demo with them. Courtney's going to do that. Then we have been carrying this other brand of gilding. Go ahead and pick one of those up for me there, Court, and open it up for me. And these come in a glass compact. Sometimes they're a little bit harder than in the sense of the creaminess. Yeah. How many ounces is that? I know it's on there. 30 milliliters?
I think so, yeah.
Yep, it says right on the side. And then how big is... Okay, so that's 30 milliliters, and we sell these for...
these are $21.95.
Okay, so those are $21.95. Those are 30 milliliters. We'll go through the colors, and then Annie Sloane, it has these, and like I said, this is about 2 years in the making. We've been selling these. That is 15 milliliters, so that is just a little... That's actually half the size, right?
Yeah.
Half the size, and these are what price?
These are
$11 even. Okay, so $11 even, half the size. They come in a tube, and something we want to just talk about in regards to gilding. I'm just going to around. Gilding is awesome. It's going to elevate your projects to another level. You can use it on metal, plastic, wood. What else do I have an example for? Resin. You know, like, yeah, I guess that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Plastic resin. Yeah. Anyway, so we like to use gilding often on like the edges of furniture or maybe a cabinet. You can do it in your powder room, just a little bit on the edges. And then, I don't know if you entertain, but if you're having people over, light a candle, leave the main light off, and that gilding on the cabinet door will pick up some of that light and just glisten, and it's really sharp. I also like to, on a lot of the pieces we pick up either from Goodwill or on the curb and we're painting them, the hardware sometimes might be a little bit patinaed, aged. So by adding just a little bit of gilding on the hardware, wiping off your excess is going to brighten it and make it look really beautiful, very lovely. And there's multiple ways of using gilding. You don't just have to put it on straight. We're going to show you how you can make a glaze with the gilding and thin it out and brush it over a surface to give it sort of a metallic, iridescent effect, which is really cool. I often tell people when they come into the shop that gilding is sort of like, in my opinion, blue eyeshadow, in the sense that maybe a little is going to be better than a lot. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve. But that's just a rule of thumb to keep in mind. And also, when it comes to applying the gilding, we recommend that gilding goes on after you have applied your top coat of wax over your chalk paint. And this demo is really specific using Annie Sloane chalk paint products and Annie's waxes. If you apply the gilding before your wax top coat, when you put your clear wax on or a tinted wax, again, it's going to work like sort of like an eraser and lift the gilding off. So we will use the example that gilding wax is sort of like the roses on top of a wedding cake. They go on last. So once you've decorated the cake, you don't go back and re-ice over the whole thing. So gilding goes on last, okay? Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, feel free, leave your city and state, and we'll be choosing one of you to win a gilding in the glass compacts before the video's over. Okay, so I'm going to flip this around, and let's talk about Annie Sloane's gilding. So Courtney, you've used this the most. You've created the demo boards, and we thought, what a great way to showcase how creamy it is and how easy it is to use by creating another sample board for one of our other locations. And so she has 5 colors. Tell me about the color you just chose.
I just chose dark silver, which is this really, I think it's a rich silver color. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it almost, I wouldn't say it's pewter, but it does have a little bit of a pewter look to it. And right next to that example is Annie's what color?
That's bright silver.
Okay, so this one is the bright silver. Yep. And this one's called?
Dark silver.
Okay, go ahead and put the bright silver back on there, just so people can have a comparison of the two.
Sure.
So they look a little similar from the camera, but the dark silver is definitely more of a gray and not quite as obviously bright, and that's why they call it bright silver. Okay, I think I spelled gilding wrong. That's so funny. Okay, so why don't we go ahead? Why don't you show us? So what do you think about the product? Did you have to like sort of knead that little container before you opened it up at all?
I actually didn't. It's actually pretty smooth and it's pretty creamy as is, so I just had to squeeze it just a little bit to get the product out.
Okay, so one of the things I thought when we first got these in, based on the packaging, is that it kind of looked like the little packages of Rub and Buff that you get at Hobby Lobby or whatever your stores. And whenever I've used Rub and Buff, and I've used that container, it's like liquid water comes out, and you have to knead it before you use it. You don't seem to find that at all with the Annie Sloane.
I didn't find that with these ones. Maybe someone already needed them before I had them.
No, no one did. I didn't.
Then we're good.
Okay, so go right ahead. So it's very creamy.
It is. It's incredibly creamy.
You're just using your finger.
I am.
So can you just, before you put it over everything, can you just lightly do it over the top so people can see? It's almost like a dry brush with paint and not getting it into the crevices. But you don't have to apply it really heavy. For this example, Courtney's actually eventually going to apply it. I think we should just do it heavy on the bottom and light on the top.
Sure.
So that way people understand there's multiple ways of using it. So you can, put it on so it's solid and opaque. Or you can do it as a dry brush. Can you go ahead and grab it from up here too?
Absolutely.
And we don't have to do the whole thing and finish it here. We'll just kind of, Okay, very cool. So that was the dark silver. And then we'll try to whip through these kind of quick. And that way we can then get into the other gilding and then get into the foil and how we're going to use the foil. So the next one, I'll put the caps on. Don't even have to worry about it.
There you go.
So the next one is the bright silver. Yeah, so that kind of definitely does give you an example.
Yes.
And then try to do it really light. I know your finger has a lot of it on there.
I know.
Oop. So be it.
There you go.
So obviously how much you have on your finger, or in some cases you may want to use a gilding brush. I can grab one.
I do have one right there.
You
I
got
can
it?
take this. We'll do a bit of a swap.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give you that. Go ahead and do that. And actually, you know what? What you could do is get a little bit of mineral spirits on that brush. Just some straight mineral spirits on it. And we're using the odorless mineral spirits. We carry it in the shop. Okay. why don't you just take that brush and I'm just curious, just blend it over that. Yeah, and it's almost like just making a glaze right there. Can you pull that really heaviness down a little bit?
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, a little bit of mineral spirits is, I love mineral spirits. If you don't have it in your painting toolbox, I think you should.
You're missing out.
You should. We like to use it to, we paint kitchen cabinets for customers here in Rochester. We'll use it to actually clean the cabinets before we paint them. So, okay, so go right ahead, pull the next one. So this is the copper. I love copper. Copper is definitely one of my favorites. I think it looks awesome. And we're going to also be using this on this cabinet. We're going to put it on, we have a Abusan blue cabinet, and we're going to do it on the edges, and we're going to make sure we have very little on our finger so when we go to do it, it's not heavy. Okay. So when Courtney's putting the copper gilding, the Annie Sloane gilding on the top here, she's trying to do it with a light touch, and you can try to have minimal amount on your applicator, your finger, your brush, but that way it leaves the recess of the crown molding we have with the graphite just to show it off. I love that. That looks awesome.
It looks great.
So if you have a dresser and it has some rope design around the perimeter, or any type of interesting, delicate, or heavy design work, carved wood, this will look fantastic. Obviously pick a color that makes sense with the paint that's on your piece. So what color is this that you're doing?
This is warm gold.
Okay, so this is the Annie Sloane warm gold. So copper's right next to it. That is definitely more of a very rich gold.
Yeah.
I think of that almost as, why would I think of it as almost like, not old school, but like, no, I'm Italian, so I'm thinking like,
The ornate.
yeah, like really saturated.
Yeah.
Not quite as obviously bright, which is the next gold. Okay. Okay. Can you whip off that tape? I don't know if it's easy to remove or not. Just kind of curious.
Should be super easy.
Yeah. And if you can, it's no big deal, but give it a go. The one gilding of Annie Sloane's that we're not going to be showcasing is the bright gold, and that's because I can't find my open bottle, and I'm too cheap to open another one. So there you go.
I think someone took it to do a project.
I think so too. We have a lot of people on our team, and if they need to borrow brushes or paint or gilding or whatever, sometimes it disappears for a little bit. So, okay. So that was the Annie Sloane gilding. And I think that gives people an idea. So again, this was the dark silver. Then we had, can you hold that up a little bit more?
Yeah.
So we have the dark silver on the end.
Yep.
The bright. And when I see the dark and the bright silver, I think those would go over, Paris gray would look fantastic.
Yeah.
They would look fantastic over Paris gray. I think that would look cool over a lot of colors, but I'm thinking more of the cooler tones. Yeah. Then we have our copper right here. Then you put on the warm gold right here. That's your warm gold. And then this one is your, I don't want to knock your things off. There's your bright gold. Okay. Anyone have questions about any of the gilding? Let us know. And Megan, I totally agree with you that the copper would look fantastic over Florence.
Oh,
100%.
I think we've done that before.
Yeah, we definitely have, but I totally agree with you. So, so what else do we have, Courtney?
We have this cabinet door that we're going to put some of the gold leaf on as well. But we figured we'd do a little bit of gilding on that as well, just to kind of show what it looks like on a cabinet.
Okay, so, and also in the sense of, this is how we would probably use it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to use more gilding all over your project, it's your house. Do what you love. It's totally fine. We often will just use it around the edges. This was just a cabinet door that we had in the shop. We painted it with Abusan blue. I don't know if it's getting a funny hue when I hold it like that. Can you hold it straight up? Oh, there you go. That's a little bit better. It almost looked like violet for a second.
Oh,
but
no.
Abusan blue is like a blue-green.
Yeah.
Again, copper will look really cool on this. Gold. Silver might be a little bit like a contrast, but I think the dark silver would look nice with it. So we want to use this door and do a couple different things on it. But first, Courtney's just going to grab, what color did you want to do?
I think we should do warm gold so we can match the leafing.
Okay, because yeah, we are going to talk about using gold leaf and copper leaf and then some metal foils here today also. Yeah. So the first thing you want to remember is you want a minimal amount on your finger, and if you have to offload some of it onto a paper plate or a paper towel, do it because it's just easier. Of course, you can take a little bit of it off using clear wax, but it won't remove it all. This is like distressing. You always start from the edge and you feather it out, okay? I would not come at the corner from the other direction. I would always start at the corner and work your way out. Can you end up getting a real minimal amount and just heather it like right in there? Cool. So it's a subtle effect, but when the light hits it, it glistens and it's really pretty. So, okay, when you get done with that corner, what else did we want to do on that with you?
I'm not sure.
I don't know
figured
either.
we were just doing the leaf on there.
Okay, then we'll do the leaf afterwards. So again, as little as you want. Can you put some on the inside?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, so let's see. Gold distressed in a light silver make it look rustic.
Oh.
You can also mix all of the gildings. Either the Annie Sloane gilding or the other gilding that we have here that shows it in the glass compact. And just so you're aware, we have it all on our website, which we'll put the link in this description afterwards. Okay, so let's be real. So you see that right there?
Yeah.
That would drive me nuts. I'm funny. That's a little bit too much. So let's show them. One, let's get a little rag, wipe some of that off, but then also, we probably don't have clear wax over here. Diane, do you mind running over some clear wax of Annie's from over there? Go ahead and blend it out with that rag a little and see how it does. Okay, see how there's just a little bit there? It's so minor.
Thank you.
It's so minor, but if you did get a little bit too much, what's great about the gilding is if you use a little bit of Annie's clear wax, and actually that does look really cool, but we need to do this as an exercise anyway. So maybe we should do it on the edge because I can see more of it.
Okay.
So why don't you just show how a little clear wax. Okay, now I want to, so this side here looked exactly like that, and just by going over that area with a little clear wax, it lifted off almost like an eraser, which is why the gilding always goes on last.
Always last.
Okay, and it does, and Barbara Mills says, love to have that detail pop when you're doing this. So do you want to just do that one section too, just to showcase it one more time? So again, if you get the gilding in an area where it shouldn't be, you always want to make sure you've applied the clear wax first, wiped off your excess, and by doing that, you create a little bit of like a safety net, insurance, so the gilding doesn't penetrate the porous chalk paint. So very cool. I'm going to have you hold that door too.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we swap?
I think we should swap.
Okay. So we're going to switch sides of the table, and I'm going to come over here. Go ahead and you can flip it over anytime you want. Okay, so we showcased the gilding that Annie Sloane has. Again, these are 15 milliliter. They're really nice little containers. They have a screw top. You always want to make sure you put the top on so they don't dry out. But it's a very creamy, metallic gilding. Works wonders. You would never apply this on your body. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I just have to say it. Okay, so then the other gilding we have is over here. So, Courtney, if you want to just pop over. This little piece of sample crown molding, which is just your, what is that called? Dart and egg crown molding. Here's your eggs and there's your darts. We just painted that with primer red, and then we did a dry brush of duck egg blue. After we did the duck egg, we did a dark wax glaze, brushed it on, and then we put some gilding just on some little areas of it. And it's so pretty. It just gives you that look, okay? And then besides that, we also have, let's see here. Let's go through this and just show them off. So this is King's Gold. It's a beautiful color. It is a very popular one. In fact, I think it's one of the top sellers when it comes to the gilding. Again, these are 30 milliliters. And what's the price of these, Courtney?
Those are $21.95.
$21.95. And there's a different name on them. I think it's, it says Pabeo. I may not pronounce it correctly, but it kind of gives you an idea. That says it's King's Gold, but in a way it doesn't look like that to me. I don't think that's right. Yeah, that's not right. That's, I think, a different color, so we're not going to go there. But let's apply some of this King Gold. See how creamy it is? It's so easy to use. And actually, Courtney, can you, I know you're holding that, you got to kind of do both. Yep, and then give me that big pot. Okay, you can hold that up so you have a better view. So this is metal. This is actually like a resin. I'm probably blocking your view. I'm going to just set it there. And I still have a little bit on my finger, so you just make sure, I don't know. So you can just, I mean, it's so easy to use. You can, it'll go on any surface. You just want to make sure you wipe off a little that excess because you don't want anyone bumping up against it and then getting the gilding on their clothes. But I've used this outside. I haven't had a problem. I'm sure it's probably made for just inside. But I love it because it just is a little bit of added dimension, and it elevates. It elevates the quality or the design of your piece. So it kind of gives you an idea of how that looks. If you want to just set that on the chair or move it to that board, that would be great. Okay. And then this is metal. I'm just going to use the same gilding. And it has raised architecture, a little raised design. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up on that. And I'm just rubbing my finger right over that area. And I love the look of this on this frame because it breaks up the gray of that silver. I'm putting a very light amount on. So light that I know that I'm not going to get into the recesses. So it gives you an idea. This was the King's Gold. I love, this is my favorite, to be honest with you, of this gilding. Okay. And just so you're aware, I have used this in very high traffic areas, like on handrails, and it's held up beautifully. Okay. So that was the King. It also comes in a copper. And let me just grab my little wet wipe here. This is absolutely, well, this is actually the Renaissance, isn't it? Did I just look at the wrong thing? These are set up a little different. So this is the Renaissance. I wouldn't say that this is a copper per se, but it goes in that direction, and it has a little bit of a rose color to it. How else would you describe that?
Honestly, I describe it as a very rich, like an emperor's. If you think of an emperor.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what would be interesting? Can I just take a step back? I just want to, this was the King's Gold right here, and I want to see how it relates to Annie's. So this is Annie's warm gold. That's the King's. It's not quite the same. Okay. This is the Renaissance gold that we carry. This, to me, is sort of going more in there. So what I want to do, just keep it over there. I'm going to mix these two. I'm going to mix the King and the Renaissance together. Let me just grab some more of this. So that way we can kind of get a little bit of a color mix of it. Yeah, the mix of the copper and the a mix of the King and the Renaissance sort of has more of what Annie's warm gold looks like. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just playing with them. And then we also carried in the copper. Gives you an idea. And that is a true looking, like brand new copper pipe. Lastly, we have, this is Empire. and it's more of a brighter gold, which is shown here on this example using duck egg. Okay. And I actually think that the Empire is definitely more like Annie's bright gold. What do you think, Courtney?
I think those are pretty close.
Okay, so gilding is awesome. I think it's the easiest to use in the sense that you don't need to worry about having the leaf and foil sizing. It's easy and quick. Put it on the edges, around the corners of your dressers, on your hardware. That's awesome, good to go. The other thing we talked about was using the gilding and mixing it with mineral spirits. Just some odorless mineral spirits. And basically making like this opalescent metallic glaze. So I'm going to just grab a little bit. I want to make sure, because there's a lot going on in the shop. I'm going to grab a little bit of the King's Gold. I just put it in there. Probably hard to see. But it's mixed with the mineral spirits. I'm going to take a gilding brush. I'm just going to, it mixes so quick and easy. Can you catch that? Look at that. Okay. This is really nice if you want to do a pinstripe. So for example, I'm just going to take my gilding brush and I'm just going to run it along the edge here. You might have to pick up some more gilding on your brush, but I can just cut it in. And it's just like painting. And you can thin it even more. So I'm going to actually add a little bit of mineral spirits more to this cup because I want to show how you can make it really thin. So you have, just going to kind of gauge it, risk it, just dump it in, see if it, hopefully don't pour too much. Yeah. It's kind of amazing that you can really thin this a significant degree. Look at that. That's with even more mineral spirits. A little of this should last you. This compact of gilding should, I don't know, unless you're seriously producing a lot of pieces on a regular basis, like every week cranking out 10 pieces. This gilding could last you a whole year, especially when you thin it with the mineral spirits, because it just goes so far. I really love it. So can't talk enough about it. And so I will shut up now. And I will actually do the foil. So gilding is awesome. Okay. Gold foil and leafing. Oftentimes when you are going to be using gold leaf, which is shown here, and gold leaf is very delicate, very thin, very lightweight. You can actually see how light it is. It's very delicate. I should have actually had a little dish of some baby powder. If you have some talcum powder, I think it's easier to hold this and to play with it. You can use gold leafing. I could gold leaf all around the edge. You can gold leaf just like I put the gilding in. You would just, wherever you put your gold or your foil sizing, and really that's just another word for almost kind of like glue. It's very sticky, but wherever you put this and then you apply the leaf is absolutely going to stay there. Sometimes when you're doing that, you can have the leaf very smooth. I personally like it when the leaf has some texture and some crinkle in it because it gives it more character. But it's really based on your personal preference. So all of these products we sell on our site. This is just the leaf and foil size. We carry it. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to apply the gold leaf through a stencil. So this is just a classical bird stencil, and I'm just going to take my brush and I'm going to apply some of the leaf and foil sizing there. Okay, just going to kind of come back in here. And then this will just wash off the stencil afterwards. You might need a little dish soap because there'll be some of the gold foil stuck on there. I just want to make sure I have it on really good. I'm trying to make sure I don't push it underneath the stencil. This does have a little smell to it, by the way, just so you know, unlike chalk paint. Okay, where did I put my cap? Right there. So I'm just going to very delicately, you got a good view? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go ahead, oops, and it's already catching, so I'm going to rub it in there. I'm just going to overlay this. Let me grab one more. I actually tore that sheet when I pulled it out initially. I got it. I'm good. It's live, folks.
Ann Sinclair asks, is that thicker than regular foil size?
You know, we do carry the regular foil right over here that we're going to talk about it. When you say thicker than foil size, you're talking about the gold leaf or you're talking about the medium we're using? Which did she mean? I can tell you that the gold leafing is thinner than a foil, if that's what you were asking, like literally like the actual foil.
Oh, okay, yeah. What?
And a lot of times people will just use a paintbrush.
The medium. She's asking about the medium.
Oh, it's similar. I think it's very similar. I think sometimes though, Annie's might be a little bit thicker, just a little thicker. So I'm just brushing that on there. Just want to make sure I get it all on. Just laying it in. I missed a little spot on the end of the wing. I'm just going to set that there. And then I'm also going to just tear that off. I missed a little section there, I think. Okay. I'm just kind of brushing off. I'm getting the points of that. Just kind of really delicately spreading it out. You don't want to be doing this if you have a fan on or if it's a windy day. Okay. Just kind of rub that over that area. Yep, so we can kind of, okay, let's see here. How's that? I want to make sure I don't have picked up any glue. I love foil. I think it's awesome. You're so cool, the techniques and different effects you can create. Just want to make sure I get that out of there. There's a little glue on there. So that kind of just gives you an idea. That is just a really rough example. I personally then would seal the gold foil, the gold leaf, the copper leaf with Annie's clear wax. And then I would come back and maybe put a little dark wax over it if I was doing the whole door in that. So you always apply the gold leaf or any of your foils before you apply your wax top coat. If you're going to be using the clear, the brown, the black, the white, it does not matter. Always do your gold leaf before, where when we were talking about the gilding goes last. So just remember those two little things. We also have metallic foils available. They come in this really cool blue. We have it in a gold. We have it in this really cool kind of almost like a Florence-y green blue color, turquoisey peacock. We love that. We have it in black, copper. We have it in the silver and the red. So keep that in mind. These will be on our shopping cart probably within the next 30 minutes. So visit the shop.thepurplepaintedlady.com. We have that. We have the gold leaf and we have copper leaf. What questions do we have?
We do have a couple people asking, do you need to put a top coat on top of the gilding?
No, I would not. And if you do put top coat on top of the gilding, because it's like a wax, it's a metallic wax, that if you put the clear wax or any of the tinted waxes, it's going to start to lift it like an eraser. And we actually demoed that a little bit earlier in this video. So make sure you go back and check it out. You also would never use a brush-on top coat, like a polyurethane or a urethane over it. The gilding that comes in these little tubes or the gilding that we sell in the glass compacts always goes on last. It's like roses on a cake, on a wedding cake. When it comes to the foil, however, foil goes on before you apply your clear wax or whichever top coat you're using for that. And that's really awesome. Okay, so Courtney, we said we were going to be giving away one of the glass compacts. These are $21.95. And we talked about the colors. They're available on our website, shop.thepurplepaintedlady, during this video. And whoever we choose will actually be able to choose their color. So what I've done is I kind of scrolled like a roulette wheel or and just sort of seen who it landed on and picked somebody. So if you don't mind, if you could do that, and then we can announce who's going to win the gilding, and you can send me an email right through our website or through Facebook. You can message me through the Purple Painted Lady message section of the Facebook page. So did you pick a winner?
Yeah,
can you
the
say
winner
it really loud?
is Miranda Williams from Benton, Illinois.
Miranda, happy Friday. So you win one of the gilding. So shoot me a message. If you leave a comment on this video, if you're viewing it through Facebook or YouTube, through our YouTube channel, if you leave a comment or a question, and it's one that is new, meaning there's not 10 of the same question above you, we will answer that. We will come back and we will provide a response. Or if you need to, you can always even give us a call. Our phone number at the store is 585-750-6056. So you can give us a call at the Purple Painted Lady. Happy Friday.